Nico Iamaleava, former Tennessee quarterback, is in the transfer portal.
Yep.
And all the reporting is now that there's no market for him.
Now Tulane don't even want him.
Ooh, buddy, when you can't even be a green wave at the price you desire, you got a real problem.
He's going to be an ECU Pirate.
He's going to end up being an ECU Pirate.
I think they have a quarterback.
Speaking of stupid, is there something with the name Nico?
Someone overplayed their hand.
Is there something with the name Nico? Because you got Nico Harrison doing stupid things in Dallas, and now Nico in Knoxville. Knoxville Nico overplayed his hand.
Yeah.
How do you do this if you don't know?
You have to know that there's a deal there.
Yes. Like, do you remember
something fell through the cracks?
Do you know? Honestly, here's what I think, and I want to be clear. I don't think this because like my sources in Knoxville told me. I'm just reading. The dad seems to be bananas. It's the dad that doesn't seem to know what's going on.
I guess because you have to have at least have an idea that deal, that $4 million, is somewhere out there for you.
For people who don't know the story, this young man was locked into a deal at Tennessee for $2.4 million. That's what he was going to make this year playing football, $2.4 million. He got it into his head he should make more and could make more.
Like 4, right?
Yeah, that was the number that was being thrown around. Yeah. He believed he could make more. Now, we talked about this a couple of days ago, and I said, hey, if he can get $4 million, I don't think I would have advised him if he were my son. The day before spring game, I would have said, no, we've committed to – this is like literally what I would tell my son. I mean, we did it with baseball last year. Like there was a point where, you want to play for this team? And I said, no, this is your team. Mm-hmm. We joined this team. This is the team that wanted you. These are your friends. You've made a commitment to them. And it's cool that somebody else might want you. And we can explore that at the end of the season. But this is the team you're on. When you tell somebody you're going to – I believe in this, man. This is something that matters to me. My morals can be compromised a million different ways, right? I'm not perfect, probably not even good. But there is something I believe in strongly, and that's if you tell somebody you're going to do something, you should do it. You follow through. You don't – your words got to mean something, right? And I think I'm better at this today than I was maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But I want to – if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to try to be there for you. And if I'm not, just know that something went terribly wrong. I try to teach this to my children, whatever positive things I might be able to instill in them to, hopefully overwhelm the negative stuff. You tell somebody you're going to do something, you do it. You commit to something, you're committed to it. You don't go back on your word in that way. Mm. So if this were my son, I would have said, we might be leaving money on the table, but we committed to this. We're not quitting the day before the spring game. We're going to play the spring game. We're going to play the season. And then we can look at it after the season if you want to. But we do not bail on people we're committed to at this point in the calendar. It wouldn't sit well with me. That's what I would have done if I were his father. But I did say on Monday, that's me. That's what I would do. But if you don't care about any of that stuff, if you can go get $4 million instead of 2.4, given that you only get so much time to make this money in college, I understand why you would do it. It's not what I would do. It's not what I would want my children to do, but I understood it. The problem for this guy is that the $4 million doesn't seem to be there. He tried to negotiate with Tennessee without having another good option. Mm-hmm. That's what we now know.
And now it doesn't sound like the Tennessee offer is even there anywhere.
It sounds like they told him, no, we're good.
Yeah.
And I'll never say they can't circle back, and they might both just need each other at this point. They might just get to a point where
he just goes back to Tennessee.
Well, they might. Like, I know Tennessee hates him.
Sure, the fans hate him right now, right?
And his teammates probably do too. And if I were running Tennessee's program, I think what I would do is we'll find somebody else. But we're not bringing that back into our program. He burned that bridge, and we have to draw lines somewhere. And oh, by the way, if we let him circle back to us, all that's going to do is tell the next guy they can do the same thing. I'd
be shocked if they let him circle back, because what I said to you is if I mean, this is still Tennessee football. This is a big brand. Like, they're supposed to, compete for SEC championships, right? Or at least play in that game.
They were, in theory, on paper, supposed to slip a little this season, but still preseason, most places, top 20 with him at quarterback.
If they felt like they had to have that guy, they would have found a way to get him that money. A lot of money in that program.
Yeah, I just think they drew the line. I think they thought he overplayed his hand. I think they thought, buddy, you're closer to average than you are elite. Don't ask us for more money. Then they drew the line. Then he said, okay, I'm gone. And now he doesn't have great options. There is a scenario where I could envision him circling back and them saying, all right, F this guy, but he is the best option at quarterback. Let's just
try to get through the season.
Let's hug and make up and try to get through the season. I could see that in the interest of get your feelings out the way. We're trying to win football games.
Sure.
And this guy gives us a better chance than the other guy. I could see that, but I think you're better off as a program as you've set the standard here. You let the other guys rally around each other, and you show both Nico and everybody else, this is not the way we run our program.
Right.
You walk out the door on us, we locking it behind you. Because if you open it back up, then when your star receiver wants to renegotiate next spring, how are you going to handle that? No, we're not giving you any more money. Get out of here. All right, I'll get out of here. Can't find the money, comes back. Well, you let Nico come back? What do you just – I'd cut ties right here. That's what I think they will do. I think it's what they should do. But I wouldn't rule out the other thing. The thing that's wild to me and where this whole thing gets sideways is think of the Kevin Willard situation at Maryland recently. Do you know when he started popping off, getting tough about Maryland, saying, I wanted to stay? The big story was back around Christmas, Maryland was playing like Rutgers or whatever. And they were staying in New York City, in Manhattan. And Kevin wanted his team to stay an extra night in Manhattan. Go see Rockefeller Center. Just being in New York, it's fun. Like people go there literally every day just to be there, just to experience it. So he was like, hey, we're here. Let's just stay an extra day. There's no classes. We're on Christmas break. Let's just stay an extra day in New York City. And they told him, no. We don't have that money. It's too expensive. And deep down, he's like, if Indiana's basketball coach wanted to stay an extra day in New York City, that would get done. If Michigan State's basketball coach wanted to stay an extra day in New York City over Christmas break, no problem. Could stay 2. But my school's telling me no. They want me to compete with Michigan State and Indiana in the Big Ten. But they're telling me no in places where the other people don't get told no. And my NIL's not where it should. He was mad about it in December. You know when you heard about it? March. You want to know why he didn't talk about it in December? Because you don't shit talk your bosses publicly until or unless you know there's a good option for me if I don't want to be here anymore. So he didn't start talking about this in December. NIL, not staying in New York. That's when he was mad about it. That's when it happened. You know when he started talking about it? The second he knew Villanova had a contract on the table for him, practically speaking.
Yep.
The second he knew Villanova wants me for this amount of money and this many years and this much NIL budget. The second he knew he had the Villanova job is when he started talking tough with Maryland and telling Maryland, if you don't do this and you don't do that and you don't do this, I don't know how you expect to win Big Ten titles. He believed it all in November and December and January and February. He didn't say it publicly or act on it until he knew he had a great option. So then they start popping off. And then it got real awkward. He messed up. He shouldn't have done it. But that's what motivated him to do it or freed him up to do it. I can talk a little freely right now. I can put pressure on them to do more. Because if they do, great, I'll stay maybe. And if they don't, I can go to Villanova. I'm good either way. So that's what he did. Then he went to Villanova. Nico did that without the Villanova option. He started talking tough to Tennessee without knowing for sure this other great thing is out there. Kevin Willard could start talking tough to Maryland and say, and if you guys don't budge, if I say I want to stay 3 extra nights every December in New York, and I want $4 million more in NIL, and I want each of my assistants to make $200,000 more annually with guaranteed 3-year contracts. If I say all that and you push back and say no, I'll go to Villanova. And if you grant all that, holy shit, I might have just made this the best job in America. I'll stay here. But that's what you're dealing with. Nico went and talked crazy to Tennessee and said, if you don't do this, I'm leaving. And they said, okay, we're not doing it, leave. And then he's just sitting out there. Mm-hmm. And there's no market. That's the quote from Heather Dennis at ESPN. There's no market for him. He will play college football somewhere, and he'll make money doing it. But it now seems more likely than not that he's going to play, you ready for this? For an inferior team for less money next season. It appears likely he will be on a worse team for less money. Overplaying your hand, not knowing what's really out there for you. Like I went through this when I left 92.9. Every time I went to 92.9 and said I need A, B, and C, it was always because I had another offer. I never went in there. I never once went in there and said, if you don't give me this, 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 and this, I'm leaving. Unless I knew I really could leave if I wanted to. And there's great options available to me, and I'll take them. If you don't do this, I will leave. But I didn't just walk in there on a Tuesday and be like, I'm disgruntled, and I think I need more money. And if you don't give it to me, I'll leave. Without knowing I got a place to go. I mean, I think Vernon did that one time. But I don't think I did. Vernon got out over his skis a little bit. It all worked out, obviously. But I'm not that confident in myself. God bless Vernon. He had that confidence. I didn't have that kind of confidence. Before you hear me start talking crazy, I'm going to know I got another contract sitting over here for me. I don't know why somebody didn't advise this young man to do this way. And it sounds like the biggest problem is that the person who should have advised him outside of an agent might have been his father. And his father reportedly is the one that took him down this bad path. Like, should be a lesson in there for everybody. If you are a young man playing any college sport, making NIL, be appreciative. But if you do think you're undervalued, underpaid, before you get tough, make sure you've got other great options waiting on you. Because if you don't, and that other place calls your bluff and says, we're not giving you another penny, and if that's not good enough, go. If you don't have anywhere to go, things could get complicated for you. And that's the story for Knoxville Nico. We'll keep you updated.